Passover. What do we know about this Christian holiday? For many, Passover means cakes and eggs. It is interesting that these confectionery products are baked only once a year, on Easter. Where did this tradition come from? One of the most beloved cults of the pagan Slavs was the cult of fertility. They baked Easter cakes shaped like male phalluses, called paschas, and the women involved in the preparation of these culinary masterpieces imitated over them the conception of a child in pregnancy, and after that the whole family had to eat pascha in the form of a phallus with white icing, sprinkled with seeds and lined with eggs, for the sake of the fertility of the earth, cattle, birds, and people. During the Christianization of Ukraine Rus, the Slavic pagans resisted the teachings of Jesus Christ, mainly in matters of abandoning the tradition of worshipping the gods of their ancestors. The pagans tried to preserve the special elements and attributes of their religion, bringing their rituals and customs to the Orthodox Church, which, in turn, from the end of the 10th to the end of the 18th century, waged a fierce struggle against pagan rituals. The custom of blessing the Easter cakes in church became a compromise between the Orthodox clergy and pagan laity, who did not want to give up traditions. Thus, the action of blessing the Pascha allegedly neutralized its magical witchcraft effect. People have been persuaded that they can eat the Holy Pascha, even though the Pascha is not a Christian symbol, and furthermore, it is an idol sacrifice, which is strictly forbidden in Christianity. True biblical Passover has nothing to do with pagan rituals. The Passover story begins in antiquity, when God brought his people out of Egyptian slavery. On the night of Passover, when the Exodus took place, God commanded that the Passover lambs be slaughtered and that the doorposts be smeared with blood, and the blood was a sign on the houses, and the destroying angel saw the blood and passed by. Then a terrible tragedy broke out, where there was no Passover lamb. Death and damnation entered every home. There were dead people everywhere, from the house of the Pharaoh to the house of a slave. And the people of God celebrated Passover, the transition from death to life, from slavery to freedom, from a cursed life to a blessed one. The Lord commanded them to celebrate Passover every year to commemorate their release from slavery. About 1,500 years passed, and God himself came into the world in the form of Jesus Christ. He performed miracles, healed the sick, and forgave sins. But people rejected the innocent and holy Christ, and on the Passover feast, they delivered him up for crucifixion. Jesus is the Lamb of God. He took upon himself all the curses and diseases of the world. He died for the sins of all mankind. He descended into hell instead of us, deprived the devil of power, took the keys of hell and death, and rose from the dead. Christ is our Passover. He is the only way for all people, the transition from death to life, from curse to blessing, from the power of Satan under the protection of God. Do we have such a Passover? If not, then we are still in the power of the destroyer, wars and curses. When we celebrate Passover incorrectly, unworthily, we overeat and get drunk, and do not discern the true meaning of Passover, then we are guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. The holy apostles warn about this, and the Bible reveals to us the secret that for this many are weak and sick, and a number are fallen asleep. The real Passover is the Lord's Supper, a remembrance of Christ, who saved us from death, hell, and the devil. Every day we should partake of the body of Jesus and his blood through unanimity with his church and the holy apostles. Christ is our Passover. We need him not once a year, but constantly. Every moment we need his mercy, grace, forgiveness, healing, protection, and love. He is the way and the truth and the life, and we need to love God more than any traditions, legends, and rituals. For he said, "Whoever is not with me is against me, and whoever does not gather with me scatters." The Holy Bible teaches that the sacrifices of pagans are offered to demons, not to God, and I do not want you to be participants with demons. You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons too. You cannot have a part in both the Lord's table and the table of demons. Are we trying to arouse the Lord's jealousy? Are we stronger than he?